Okay, we are recording. Okay, so we named this call. Oh, those are my DMOs. We named it 3 and 30 for 3 months. And y'all are going to hear the number 3 quite a bit because the power of 3 is huge. So we're going to talk about that a lot. But basically, we are asking essentially to commit to doing 3 IPAs 5 days a week for 30 minutes for 3 months. Okay, so we are going to talk about everything to help you get organized, some ideas on what to do for that. And back in, goodness, what was that, like September, me and Amanda did a training in Houston. And it's actually something that Tara referred to last night when she was doing a training for her level 1s. And I just kind of had an epiphany, and I was like, we have that slideshow. Why aren't we using it? It's a really good resource. So we're not going to really go like as in depth on it as we did when we were doing the training, because the training is about an hour and a half, and we don't want to take up that much of your time. And we also have other things that we want to cover outside of the slideshow. But we are going to go ahead and start there with some very simple, easy scripts. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up and share my screen. How am I going to do this? Because it's all big. Okay. Okay. Then I go to share. Share. Okay. Can y'all see this? Y'all can all see it? Okay. So we're not going to go over this stuff. Like, basically, this is our training was specific to helping people achieve the rank of gold, but this is really for everybody, regardless of your rank. The meat and potatoes of this is what we should be doing every day. And so we are going to hear a lot of feedback.
Hey, yeah, I'm getting a lot of background noise. Are you guys?
I'm muting some people. There we go. Okay. So anyways, we're going to go over the majority of this PowerPoint, but we're going to leave out like a lot of things that we spent time on that you can easily chat with your sponsor about or even find in the help center. So this is kind of a good place to start. Y'all, you really got to be in touch with your why to know why you're doing this. For me, it was I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And at the time when I started Plexus, I had a 7-month-old baby, and I wanted to be able to match my teacher's salary. Now, you've got to pull back the layers on your why. It's not just about the money. It's to the meat and potatoes of your why, the core of it. Mine was to be able to have that one-on-one quality time with my son, and you know, have him be in some sort of Mother's Day out on my terms. So really peel back the layers of your why. Some may be just focused on the health side. Some may be on the business side. Some may be on both. I know that Jenny really, you know, jumped into the business because of her amazing health results. So really dig deep and determine your why. Does anybody want to add anything to that? No? Okay, we'll keep going. So basically, silver, that is the power of 3. So there's so many wonderful things about talking about going silver. Not only are you continuing to fill your funnel, because there are going to be, you know, situations where someone will have to turn off their subscription, or maybe someone is only financially able to order every other month, or whatever the case may be. If you have a team and you're not constantly filling your funnel, then you're going to end up creating a team and probably, you know, losing them within 6 months, because it's just kind of the nature of the game. You've got to be really good at retention. Now, one statistic that I learned in a Jewel training, which was like astounding to me, is if you duplicate this down, y'all, and you get a level 1 to silver, they are, like, statistically in the Plexus data, more likely to stick around for 13 months than they would had they not gone silver. So silver is really something, y'all. Not only if you're going silver every month, you're setting the tone. The speed of the team is the speed of the leader. You're filling your funnel. You're, leading by example. But when you are duplicating this down, you are creating retention in your team. 13 months, y'all. That's huge. So really keep that in mind. We recently just had someone do a first Plexus post. So if you do have someone who's interested in going silver, go ahead and take a phone or a screenshot of this take a picture of this. But this is a great, good, generic first Plexus post. Anything y'all want to add to that? I mean, it's very generic. I think it's really important to add a spin about you, whether you're witty or funny or quirky or whatever that may be for you. I would encourage your new team member to add some personal touches on it. But this is a really great, broad first Plexus post. Okay, so at the bottom, you can see a tip from the top. Again, there's that number 3 again. If you have someone who, like, say I sponsor Sally, and Sally has Bobby comment on her first Plexus post, then I'm going to have Sally start a 3-way message with the 3 of us. Y'all, anyone who is making a first Plexus post doesn't know what they're talking about. So take that pressure off of them and loop them in with a 3-way. If you're still relatively new and you have someone who's interested in the business, then loop it up the line a little bit further. It's no shame in the game to have 3 or 4 people chit-chatting in a post. It's just more validation. So make sure that you're using your upline as a resource. Sometimes our uplines, for instance, mine in particular, is super, super busy. She is a diamond senior ruby. So I might loop in Amanda. If you feel like your upline is out of town or busy, go up another level or loop in a sideline sister. But we are all one Plexus, so definitely utilize that third-party validation.
I was just going to back you up on that and tell you that there is a really good step-by-step post that Tara did a while back, and it just recently surfaced back up, and that's how I ended up getting my new girl Teresa to make a post, who initially had told me she had 0 intentions of sharing, and she just got her products and made her first post just by seeing the simplicity of making a post and how it was not it wasn't what she was expecting it to be. So I will copy and paste that post into the Rockstars. It has the steps on just how simple it is for your person to share. It's got this same little script, but it also talks about, the third party. No worries. Step 3 says, what if someone says, this Plexus? Well, don't freak out. We are here for you. Start a 3-way conversation in your Facebook Messenger, and it tells them how to do that. So, Amy, is it okay if I post that in the Rockstar?
Absolutely. Yes, I love that. And another thing that you can bring up with someone, if you don't think they're quite ready to make a first Plexus post, but you still think they'd be really good at the business, is ask them if they don't mind doing a shout out or a referral post. That's another way to kind of have them say something publicly, but they have absolutely no pressure, because in their mind, they're doing a favor. You know what I'm saying? So a referral post is another good example on how to get someone maybe to start sharing without really realizing they're doing it. Okay, so this is a really awesome way. I mean, did you want to talk about this? That you did really well on this during the training about, how we can just send, share, invite, and how we have so many different things to share and different things to invite them to. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah. So I think it's important to peel back the layers, like Amy was saying, and really get to the root of the reason that they want to start on these products. And then customize what video that you send them. So we have so many videos in our back office, whether it's like an opportunity video or if that's something that they're interested in knowing right off the bat, or if it's weight loss, I typically send the triplex. If it's just overall health, maybe if it's for a guy and he necessarily doesn't want to lose weight, but he's just looking for just more energy and just better health overall, I'll send the microbiome video. And if you guys don't know what those are, let me know, and I'll also post those videos so you guys have access to that. And then another thing you can do, which I've done a lot, I know Jenny has too, is there's so many good testimonies in that Plexus Products testimonies page. So another thing I do is once we've, talked about something that they're struggling with or something, specific, I'll go in and search for a story that's very similar to theirs, whether it be like fibromyalgia or digestive issues. I mean, there is literally there's something for everybody back there. People have been so gracious with sharing their stories. And so, and most of those are shareable. And so I'll send them one of those, and that way they, they can look at that and it's something for them to resonate with and also relate to. And then invite them to something, whether that be a 3-way chat, a 3-day trial group. We have the Silver and 7. There's so many things to get involved in, or just meet them for coffee. Like face-to-face, belly-to-belly is huge. Or just get them on the phone if it's some, if they don't live near you or you don't have, quick access to them, pick up the phone and give them a phone call. The power of just speaking to someone and them hearing your heart through your voice. I mean, that's how I signed when I first started. I did 3-way chats with almost every single person. Amy just had to be like readily available for me, because I was always like, Amy, 3-way, help me with the 3-way. I don't, because I didn't know what I was talking about. And I wanted to ease their nerves and make sure that they had all the, any questions they had. I wanted that to be answered for them. And so really utilize that, guys. Don't hesitate to use us for help. I mean, that's what we're here for. And so that is a really, really big deal as far as connecting with people on a really personal level.
Yes, I love that so much. And also in that little share part in the middle, another awesome thing to share with them is a sample. Y'all, these sample boxes are huge. Whether you awesome. Want to purchase your own and share, or whether you send them to your site, they're going to get their money's worth, because they are going to get that $20 off coupon. So that is huge, y'all. I really think that that's something that we need to make sure that we're focusing on. That's also a really easy way to help someone else get started sharing, is offering samples down. So one thing, after we talk about some scripts that are going to come up, I want to break down how we're going to kind of take someone through the process to ensure that they're well taken care of, and also it will encourage retention for them. But these scripts, y'all take a picture of this or jot this down, or catch it on the replay. But these are so simple but so effective. One thing that I've learned, one thing that I have, if I reflect back and look at old messages or, things that I did back in the day, I said too much. Be there to answer the questions, but like less is more. Like Amanda was saying, a video that's, 30 to 60 seconds is going to be way less overwhelming than if we send them like this much text and they're like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So anytime that you can send a voice memo or a video to make it like appear less overwhelming is better. But these are some sample messages that legit walk you through how to like keep the conversation going. So Jenny, you want to read these?
Screenshot that, guys. It's a really good one.
Say that again. I didn't hear you, Amy.
Do you want to read through them, or can everybody see? I mean, they're very, very simple, but as you can see, each part is ending with a question. If you are conversating with someone about plexus, that is by far the most important thing. If you don't ask a question, then it's very easy for the conversation to die out. So that's going to be my number one suggestion. Now, clearly, with different needs and different personalities, and some are ready quicker than others, conversations are going to look different. But as long as you continue to peel back those layers and ask those questions, then you're more prone to keeping that conversation going.
Yes, and I just want to back you up on that, because I'm seeing that start to come to like real life. I guess for me now, I'm getting to that stage where some people that I started sharing with in the beginning are now coming back around. You know, it took a little bit of time, and it took of answering a lot of questions over a lot of time. But it's easy to think, oh no, they've ghosted me and they don't want to talk to me or be my friend anymore. And it's just so important to just not take that personally. And just realize that, you know, they're just as busy as we are. And or maybe busier. I don't know. But just always, like Amy said, end it with a question that you can always come back around to, maybe at a different time. I love how it says, hey friend, I know life gets busy, and I was curious if you saw this or had any thoughts on it. I can tell you I'm really guilty of that sometimes. I'll read it and in my head I've responded, and I never actually typed it out because my child went running through the house or something past me with no clothes on, or, you know, I got distracted. I had to address something else. So just ending with the question always gives you the opportunity of circling back around, and that sometimes it's not personal. Sometimes it's just life, and it's just somebody got busy.
Absolutely. So then you get to that part where someone asks you, okay, what is it? And you're like, what do I say? So this is a really simple way to, again, take pressure off yourself and throw it into either a 3-way or a video or a sample. But this is a very simple way to kind of like answer that question. So, I mean, I definitely would jot this down just to have it like in your back pocket, because it's a very broad, you know, way to kind of describe our company. But I like how it ends with a question. I would even take it a step further and maybe ask, what are your health goals? That way you can kind of narrow it down. Is it gut health? Is it skincare? Is it, you know, weight loss? So that's another thing that you can kind of throw in to narrow it down. And real quick, we kind of jotted down some notes earlier. So now that we've kind of had this little message conversation going on with someone, I wanted to just kind of break it down, kind of like from first contact to joining, kind of what it would look like. So let me see, where did I find the notes? I totally don't know where I put it. I wrote so many notes today.
While you're looking, I'll just back you up on what you just said. Those are my 2 favorite questions, is what are your health goals? And if they've already told you all of that and there's still hesitation, is there anything that I can help you with? Do you have any objections?
Oh, yes.
You know, what are your objections? figure out what it is that's holding them back from making the decision, and then just address that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, for me, I went in and read like the 60-day money back guarantee, because in my mind, I was going to be utilizing that option. And I wanted to know all of the specifics. I wanted to know if I was going to have to be arguing with somebody on the phone about this. If there was a percentage that was kept, I wanted to know all the details before I clicked accept and enroll. And for some people, it's subscriptions. It's they get hung up on worrying that this is going to become a lifetime commitment. Yeah, Amy, and that they're going to get penalized or be charged at X amount of dollars for not fulfilling their commitment. Because there's companies out there that this is a reality for, and not everybody understands the generosity and the authenticity of Plexus when we say there's no strings attached. That's just a learned situation. I know I definitely didn't trust it initially because, we're built not to trust. So, did you find what you're looking for?
I did. Thank you so much. And that is part of what I was looking for. Okay, so this is kind of like kind of what it generally will look like from like touch to sign. So first touch, I mean the first time you discuss, or maybe the first time they see a post, or whatever their first encounter with Plexus may be with you. But generally, it's going to look similar to, an interaction on a post or a reach out. Generally, you're going to have to overcome some sort of objection. Maybe it be the cost, a 60-day money back guarantee. For me, it was the subscription. I had a new baby at the time. He was 7 months old. He just started daycare. That was an extra $650 bill that we were getting a month. And so for me, like committing to having $120 go through my account, like stressed me out. I, didn't know if I was like signing my life away, or, was I going to be locked into some sort of something for 12 months and, then my husband come back and kill me. So usually there is some sort of objection to overcome. But then you do that, whether you give them samples to do so, add them to an online event, a sip and see, whether it's virtual or in person. Usually there's some way that you can overcome those objections with them. And then once they've tried the products, you're going to determine 2 wins in their first 7 days. Hold on, I'm opening the chat. Yes, thank you. We call this the feel, felt, found method. So what she's saying is, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, but what I found was, so again, I can easily talk about cost because that was my concern. But then, what I said was, well, what I found is I fell in love with the products, and I actually shared with 3 of my close friends and family members and was able to cover the cost of my products and then some. So that would be a good way to overcome that objection. Okay, so then from there, you're determining at least 2 wins, whether it's taste, more energy, maybe they're more regular in the bathroom. Whatever that looks like for them, you're going to find 2 in their first week. And then from there, you're going to offer them a sample. And now, not everyone is in a financial place to do that. So if that doesn't work for you, then maybe connect them to their own sampling portion of their website. But, simply ask, wow, I'm so excited that you're loving this so far. Do you know anyone who may benefit from this? And then from there, you can kind of lead them into sharing again without them really realizing it. Most of the time, they're going to say, well, yeah, my mom would love this. Or, for sure, my husband, is tired all the time, or whatever the case may be. Most of the time, in fact, I'm going to be real, I've never had someone say no, to be honest. I've never offered someone a sample to share with someone else and them tell me no. So I definitely feel like that is the next step to do once you've discovered those 2 wins. And then finally from there, if they are interested in taking it a step further, whether it be doing a first plexus post or sharing a sample, then from there I would start, Amanda, this is all you, girl, dripping the business on them. It's got to be super natural. And yes, so Amanda, I'm going to give it to you because you're really good at this. Yes, they can be super small wins, but help them find them.
Okay, do we have a slide for this, or am I just off the cuff?
Let me see. So we've already kind of talked about this. Okay, so here's some silver and 7. This is a good way to start dripping the business. So there's something.
Yeah, this silver and 7 is awesome. And we utilize this. I mean, we do utilize it, but I think that we should start doing this more because it's so great. It keeps people accountable. It's something that you can tag them in every day. And I think Tara said something like you're 65% more successful to hit silver and 7 if you take 20 minutes a day and do these things. Okay, hold on a minute. June's screaming at the door. You may have to take over for me, Amy.
Sorry, I was muted. So yes, silver and 7 is an excellent way to lead someone into sharing about the business, because it not only includes these scripts that we've shared with y'all on kind of what to say and how to walk through a conversation, but it also shares examples of posts to share. And it talks about the different types of posts, on how it's really important to have engagement posts, personal posts, plexus posts. If you are all plexus and have no personality on your page, then you're basically just a walking ad. Now, every once in a while, someone may read it, but unfortunately, I think that's about where it's going to end. You're going to have to show your passion. And again, that's going to go back to really discovering what your why is. So, Jenny, am I missing anything?
Yeah, the only thing that I would add to what you're saying is that, as David had mentioned something that really kind of stuck with me, that nobody ever calls and says, well, my ambassador reached out to me every single day for the first 7 days and they annoyed me, so I'm done. It's always the opposite. It's, well, I didn't really feel like I knew what to do. And so what Amy was explaining about checking in with them, it's every single day. So how did you like the products? What did you find that was great today? How is your mood? How is your energy? It's every day for 7 days, checking in with them. And then when they're finding that win, really building upon that. The only other thing that I would add to is when they share with you that they have somebody that's interested, if they're not quite ready for samples, or maybe that's not the direction they want to go. I've found some success with the private groups as well, when they say like, oh, my mom has fibromyalgia, and I say, oh my gosh, I have seen so many testimonies on that. I'm going to tag you in those testimonies for you to share with your mom or share with whoever. And that also is another way to work if you don't have samples quickly, or they cannot, maybe they don't want to invest in another $20 site or have to send their friends to buy something. There is another option. You can always send them into the private group. However, samples are my favorite, but there are, just keep your options open. But the only other thing is that most people are wholesale ambassadors. And if they do start to warm up to sharing, it usually happens later. It's very seldom that people come into it with their, 2 feet in the water with you. It happens. When it happens, it's amazing. But it doesn't always happen that way. Usually someone maybe has 1 foot or 1 toe in the water, or aren't anywhere near the water, and just showing them the simplicity of it with putting them in the silver and 7, or just helping them share it with a few people. There's something about that that email that you get that, hey, Plexus has paid you. That kind of gets you a little bit encouraged to, oh, well, that was easy. Maybe I could do that again.
Absolutely. So I love all of that, Jenny, and I really do love those groups. Again, it goes back to that third party validation. When we were kind of coming up with an agenda for tonight, one thing that really resonated with me when I was chatting with Jenny earlier is it's kind of like, well, if your mama tells you to do it, you're like, whatever. But then if your favorite aunt is like, no, but really, you're like, oh. So, keep that in mind that sometimes you've got to realize that you're the friend or you're the family member. And sometimes hearing it from somebody else, like, just really validates, their apprehension, and it makes them feel more at ease just because that's just how the nature of the mind works sometimes. So, one thing that, was really hit on last night with Tara's call was just like 3 ways, 3 ways, 3 ways. I don't care if it's with a sideline, an upline, a downline, but a 3-way validation. Go in the Rockstars thread and just be like, hey, is anyone able, to spare a few moments for a 3-way? I have someone who is interested in XYZ. Anyone have any experience with this? Like, I guarantee you someone will step up and help you out with that. So just really utilize that, because that can really ease some tension. And then it also connects that person with someone in Plexus as they join. And one thing that I've really found, with me almost being here for 5 years, is that the more your newbies feel a part of our team, the more susceptible they are to sticking around. They want to feel a part of something. They don't want to feel left out. So include them in things, whether you just include them on the team page and give them a shout out to be excited about their journey, or whether you include them in a small thread or whatever that may look like for them that, fits their needs and their personality. That is going to really help with accountability, because we can't do it all and we can't be there all the time. And if there's even just one more person there that can help answer a question if you're not available, that is going to help you. And it's also going to make them feel more comfortable. So definitely 3 ways, 3 ways, 3 ways. The rest of it is really kind of just going into talking about like the power of 3 and duplicating and how to really end with 105 points. So I think when it comes to this slideshow, I think this is kind of like a good recap on what to do to kind of get someone started in going silver and sharing. So, making your first Plexus post, reaching out, be sure you're a part of those reach outs. You want to make sure that they're not, copying and pasting and sending too much information. A lot of times when I'm in a 3-way chat with a newbie, I'm even on the phone with them, kind of coaching them on what to say so that they don't say too much, but they also feel like they're a part of the conversation. Again, going back to that sampling system, this is a little bit different. I know we still have when we made this was back in September. It's a little bit different now. Now we have that sampling box, which you'll get a $20 off coupon. But anyways, essentially we still have an amazing sampling system. Plug your friends into those 3-way challenges, the silver and 7. Again, lots of repeating there, but it's just showing you like how important all of those things are. So that's kind of where we're going to end with the slideshow. At this point, does anybody have any questions? Because I know that was a lot. So we want to give everyone a chance to, pop in and share anything. Ask. Don't be shy. If you want to type it, if you don't feel comfortable speaking, that's fine. There may be like screaming children behind you and you don't want to unmute yourself. Yes, duplicating down. Absolutely. Yes. Mine are screaming. Yes, basically, if you are teaching this to your level 1s and doing it with them, the idea is that they become confident after, doing this and seeing it done and watching you. The idea is to teach them and so that they are able to do this with their level ones. I always say that the best thing would be to find a better leader below you. You know what I mean? So definitely, yeah, 3 ways, and that's an awesome teaching tool. I remember going back to what Amanda was saying when I first started. I had absolutely no clue what I was talking about. I was just very excited. I was looking for accountability partners. I went silver before I got my products. From there, like, I was just excited and was like, Tara, help me. I don't know what I'm doing. But, and by the time I had participated in like 15 3-way chats, she kind of started to give me a little scoop, and she's like, you got this, girl. And she started to push me out of the nest, but you will get better and you will get more confident. So, now this is a lot of information on how to do it, but you're probably thinking, well, how do I get it organized? How do I do it? What's the way? Like, how am I going to fit this into my day? How often should I be doing it? One thing that was kind of an aha moment for me last night, funny how David had all the ahas for us. Mine was, he referenced going to the grocery store when you're hungry. And when you go to the store when you're hungry, you generally buy more because you're hungry and you're trying to satisfy that need. And when you go to the store when you're not hungry, you usually just stick to your list, or just kind of get what you need, but you don't go overboard. Well, Tara and David just got done doing a 10-day tour in Canada, and so they knew they had 10 days to basically build relationships in Canada. And from there, they kind of went back to this analogy of they went to Canada hungry. They knew that they were going to have to utilize their time in Canada to build as many relationships as they could, because heck yeah, Canada's wide open. Why wouldn't you want to, build relationships and meet people in an open wide country? So they were very intentional. They were mixing their slim at dinner and leaving the packet on the table. They were hungry. And for whatever reason, and I honestly think, and it's funny because back when I started, we had a really like gangster back office. Like, you really didn't know where you were until the very end. I'm going to be real. But now you like kind of know where you are and where you're going. And I feel like now that we know, I think we become complacent. And I think we've also gotten in our head, well, I'm at this many points on the 10th, so there's no way I'm going to hit that goal by the end of the month. And I think that we're already tricking ourselves into like missing these goals, instead of just treating every day of being hungry and getting our IPAs done, and treating every month as this could be an amazing month. I could meet somebody on the 6th who wants to fast track gold. Why am I discounting myself? Why am I thinking that it's not possible? Because you never know. And so we were chatting about breaking it down into a daily method of operation, and we have some tips. You already saw it on the post. But we want to challenge everyone to create a daily method of operation that works for you. Now, I was talking to Amanda about this earlier, and she has a Spitfire of a 3-year-old, or she's almost 3, right? Yes, she's almost 3. So by the time she gets her 2 oldest to school and, has her youngest, who's just like all up in everything, it's exhausting. She's also dealing with insurance adjusters. I don't know if y'all saw, but, she was hit by our last flood in Houston. So she's still dealing with that. Y'all, that's a lot. When you're taking care of 3 babies and your house is under construction and you're dealing with insurance, that's just a lot. So her daily method of operation is going to look completely different than mine. She may have to wake up 15 minutes earlier when her babies are still sleeping and get like 15 minutes in then, and then maybe stay up a little bit later and get 30 minutes in at the end of the day. For me, my Spitfire, little Zoe, she does a great nap. And so I can rely on that nap, and I can rely to get in a solid, like, honestly, she very rarely fails me and goes less than an hour, but it's usually close to 2. I have all that time that I can be utilizing to be working on my Plexus business. Now, I also have to be a mom and a wife and do my stuff. So I got to be realistic that I'm not going to be able to pour into 2 hours of plexus in that nap time every day. I've got to be realistic. I've got to get my laundry, my dishes, all that jazz done. But our point is that I have found that we have been waiting until the end of the month and seeing where we're kind of at and then pushing for goals. So rather than driving ourselves crazy, we were talking about breaking it down into smaller pieces. So I'm going to pass it on, and I want y'all to throw in some stuff on that, and then I'll come back in. But essentially, I just opened up what that's going to look like. So one of y'all hop on in.
So we posted some, I don't remember how many, 12 maybe? I don't know, there's a bunch. Yeah, different ideas on whether you're connecting with people, creating your Facebook posts, the 3 that you want to get in. You don't want to post them all at the same time, but just organizing your time and making sure that 30 minutes is completely intentional. Not getting distracted scrolling, not doing anything other than that 30 minutes of IPA. And if you focus on that 30 minutes every single day, I know for me, it might be I can get it done first thing in the morning, and then the rest of the day I'm free to do whatever I need to do or be available to other people, or get the rest of my stuff done, and I'm not having to carve out nooks and crannies here and there, because that can get really overwhelming. And if we get overwhelmed, we're going to be underachieved, and we don't want to be in that spot. We don't want to be frustrated in a way where it's not healthy. So I think by just breaking it down and being able to hold each other accountable, that we're getting at least 30 minutes in, I know for me it's going to be really good.
Absolutely. So what I have found, and I've even caught myself doing this, is I definitely work my business on a weekly basis. Okay. But what I have found is I may like not get to something on like Monday or Tuesday, aside from like answering, team questions or posting on the team page or making sure information is out there. But I'll find that maybe Monday and Tuesday go by, and then Wednesday I'm like, oh my goodness, I haven't worked my personal business. And then I'll sit for like 2 hours. And then like Thursday I'm really like crazy again, and I'm not like holding myself accountable. And then like Friday I get back to it again. And the point of this daily method of operation is that if you do a little bit each day, rather than overload yourself on, just 2 or 3 days here, 2 or 3 days there, you are going to find that it is going to be so much more beneficial. Imagine if you dedicate 5 days a week for 30 minutes over the course of 3 months, what that will do. I did kind of type up an example of kind of what I want to set up for myself. So I'm going to just give you kind of a snippet of what mine, I think I'm going to try to start doing this week. So on Mondays, I'm going to reach out to 3 people about plexus or samples. I'm going to add to my Facebook or Instagram stories about plexus. Y'all stories is where it's at. You can do polls. You can really engage with your audience. And I'm also going to participate in a Facebook group. I am a part of so many groups, but what I have found is that I will engage in them, twice a month, but that's not enough for me to be like known or stick out. That's not going to be enough for me to build relationships. So I'm committing, I have one in particular with 150 moms. I am committing to focusing on that group for right now and engaging in that group 3 times a week. Then on Tuesdays, I'm going to reach out to 3 more people about plexus or samples. I'm going to compose 3 posts for Facebook, just to kind of have in my back pocket, so that if I find that I'm busy and I don't have a post, that I have something to share on social media, so that I'm just not absent for 3 or 4 days at a time. Ideas about that are personal, inspirational, or plexus. And then I am going to add 3 friends on Facebook or join a new group. Then on Wednesday, I'm going to reach out to 3 more people. Y'all hear that 3 number again, y'all. Telling you, it's going to haunt us. I'm going to reach out to 3 people about plexus samples. It's been 2 days. since I've done an Instagram story about plexus, so I'm going to do another one. I'm going to go back and participate in that group. Then my Thursdays and my Tuesdays look similar, and then my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays look similar. But on my Thursdays, I'm going to reach out to inactives or those who are under 100 PV. So that's going to put me doing that about 4 times a month when you count up your Thursdays. And I'm going to offer product recommendations, talk about new product launches, and any sales that we may have going on. Again, I'm going to compose 3 more Plexus posts to have in my back pocket, and I'm going to add 3 friends on Facebook or join a new group. And then finally on Friday, just because I like the old follow-up Friday thing, I'm going to follow up with those people that I've reached out to throughout the week. I'm going to do 3 to 6 people since I've reached out to at least 9 at this point. I'm going to add to my Facebook and Instagram stories, and I'm going to participate in a Facebook group. Now, these are actual IPAs. What I'm going to add, because a daily method of operation includes your IPAs and then other things you need to do for your business. 2 more things that I'm going to do every day after I've completed 30 minutes of IPA. And y'all, if I get done with that, I'm just going to keep going. But after 30 minutes of IPA, that is when I am going to scroll and comment on friends or team members' posts. That's when I'm going to check team pages. That's when I'm going to check group messenger and see what's going on. So I'm going to make sure I take care of my personal IPAs first, and then I will go and do that. I was chatting with Amanda earlier, and I think in mom mind, it's really hard to like focus on one thing because we're so used to juggling so many at once. Y'all, I think I'm going to put my phone on do not disturb so that I cannot receive any phone calls or texts while I'm doing this. I'm also, if I send out a message to Sally Sue, I am not going to respond to her message if she writes back to me until my 30 minutes is up. It's very easy as a mom to go squirrel. So I think I'm going to have to hold myself accountable and just shut everything else down, because I really want to commit to this, because I think that this is going to be more effective. I think I'm going to be more consistent, and this is going to just really take a lot of stress off of us. Now, are we going to make changes and life's going to happen? Yes. Are there going to be, times like tomorrow's the last day of Black Friday and Cyber Monday? Am I probably going to spend a little bit more time? Yes. This is just for a typical Wednesday, to help hold me accountable. So is there anything that I've missed, ladies?
No, I would just encourage that you definitely, when you're looking through that list, make sure you're at some point in time doing all of them that apply to you.
Yeah.
Make sure you're switching it up. Do the ones that scare you. Do the ones that you don't think are very important, because you'll be surprised. Definitely switch it up. Don't get stuck on like just the 3 things that you're comfortable doing.
Absolutely. And again, you may have somebody in a 3-day challenge. So your day may, like, this is again like just a very generic guideline that I'm going to follow. For me personally, just to make sure that I'm reaching out. I was talking to another team member, and she was telling me that a couple times a month she'll just sit down and message 30 people. Well, then if you're getting all those responses back at once, that becomes very overwhelming to manage. So this is something I shared with her earlier today, and I was like, you know what, girl, I really think that we need to break it down into smaller chunks so that when you do get a message back, it's easier to respond, or it's also going to be easier to keep up with who you need to follow up with. I mean, if you're reaching out to 30 people and you need to circle back with them, within a week's time, that's a lot of work again. Where if you're breaking it down into, I'm reaching out to about 9 people throughout my entire week, I'm going to commit to following up with possibly 6 of them. You can usually gauge where your conversation is going on who needs a follow-up and who maybe needs a little bit more time. But this is really just going to help kind of break it down into smaller, manageable chunks. We were talking about every night, just Monday through Friday, sending in just a graphic into our team thread that you can just love. And it's just going to say, I've like celebration. I've completed my DMOs for today, and just a checker to help hold us accountable. We don't want to overflood the thread with a bunch of yes, I did it, or but just a reminder that, hey, if my day got really crazy and I haven't done this yet, I'm gonna go do it right now, and then I'm gonna go love the post. So I mean, what do y'all think about that? Do you think that'll be helpful? What are y'all's thoughts on that?
I definitely think that's going to be really helpful in keeping everybody, myself included, mainly me, make sure that that's checked off my list. I love the accountability. I love when I know there's somebody, they're holding
Running
me.
with you.
Yeah, running with me. That's the word I'm looking for. It helps me with my weekly goals. I know we're probably going to talk about that in just a second, but knowing like what I want to accomplish at the end of the week, like where I want to be at for my monthly goals to be happening, it's really encouraging to know that there's other people that are doing the same thing. And when we're all checking in together, there's just something about that little, the little cheerleading squad. We're all in it together, right?
Yeah, so. Celebrating all our wins together. It's huge.
Amanda, definitely. Would you mind going into what you just wrote in the chat about finding a sister accountability partner?
Yeah. So, find anyone. It can be a sideline sister. It can be someone on our team. Just someone who you can check in with every day and kind of bounce ideas off each other. I think just going back to what we were saying, it's just so important to have that. There's days that they get away from me. And I have, Amy or Jenny or, there's Annette. She's great too, that they check in with me and they hold me accountable. Hey, what did you do today? Hey, did you reach out to those 5 people? Hey, did you follow up with that lady that we were talking about the other day? That is so helpful. It just keeps me on track. And so, like I said, it doesn't have to be someone that you even know. Just reach out to, someone on this team, like I said, or a sideline sister, whoever you feel comfortable, being accountable with. And then maybe even like on Mondays, have like a set time where you can, set some time aside and go through what you're going to accomplish for the week. And that way it helps you. You've got it all laid out. I'm going to get up an hour earlier. I'm going to knock this out. What else? It really helps in setting tangible goals for yourself. And it also helps with not overwhelming yourself with, all of the things, because there's a lot of things that we're involved in. And so, I just think it's so important. Don't take that lightly. You guys find a sister and hold on to her tight.
And I love how she mentioned like not knowing them, because my first accountability partner, like I just kind of like saw her on the Slim Jims, and we ended up like becoming really close. And I didn't end up like actually meeting her in person until, goodness, it was about 7 months after I joined Plexus. So, I mean, I really challenge you to, go look at the people in our group and see who maybe lives near you, or, maybe you can tell by their Facebook that y'all have some similar interests. Maybe you have, you both have a daughter the same age, whatever that may be. But I encourage you to find an accountability partner. So that's kind of part of our homework. Is by Friday, we want you to come up with kind of your version of what your daily method of operation would look like. And again, every day will probably be different, but try to commit to 5 days and send it to your sponsor. We know that can be really personal. So, we're not going to ask you to share it in a thread, but send it to your sponsor just to hold you accountable. And then also try to find an accountability partner. And y'all, I challenge you to reach out to someone you're not necessarily comfortable with. You'd be surprised how awesome that'll be. So.
Yeah, and our whole team is so great. Like, it was so fun at convention getting to meet all these ladies who I had, corresponded with, but we had never met. And then we were all together at convention, which you guys are going to love. And so it was just so cool because we're all in this together. I mean, we're all in the trenches together. And so we all want the best for each other. And so just know that is such an encouragement, and that we are one plexus truly, and we are all looking out for each other.
So now you have your accountability partner. And this kind of goes back to how your DMOs are going to kind of keep you, organized and in order. But Jenny, I would love if you would close this out with talking about how important those weekly and monthly goals are. And how sharing that with not only your sponsor and also your accountability partner, y'all, I share this all the time when we do, the new business building call, or I don't even know which one it is. One of those calls. There's statistics that show that if you have an accountability partner, you're like, I want to say it's like 90% more susceptible to actually reaching that goal. And y'all, if your goal was maybe let's say when you went a little bit past, instead of going silver this month, I want to welcome 5 people. Well, maybe instead of hitting the 5, you hit the 4. But I bet had you not set that high of a goal, you would have gotten closer to that goal than had you not set a goal at all. So I'm all for them being realistic and tangible, but I'm also for stretching yourself just a tad. So but anyways, Jenny, will you close us out with how important all that is?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is highly important. I love the accountability partner. I love sharing at the beginning of the month what my specific goals are, and even having someone to help me map it out, and say, okay, well, here's where you're at, and this is what you need, and then each week checking in with me and making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing to achieve my goals. And back to what Amy had said just a few minutes ago, about making sure that you're really specific and looking for someone who maybe is outside of your comfort zone and not someone that you really connect with on a daily basis anyways. I think that is all very important as well. Because like Amanda said, you're going to probably see them in the near future, and why not know more people than you do just in your inner little circle. It's so much more fun. I can tell you that from Leaders Retreat as well.
Yes, mine was out of state. So, it was pretty awesome.
But yeah, I think it's having very specific, like if I know my goal, I'll share it with you guys. So my goal is to go silver every month, but also develop another silver, whether it be from a level 1 or a level 2 each month. Like that's my monthly goal. And by knowing that I have someone that's going to come beside me and be like, okay, so what are you doing to make sure that goal happens? Are you doing your IPA, or are you just following up with everybody and working on your team, or are you really, focusing and honing in on your personal IPA? And don't get stuck. We didn't really hit on this, but I'll hit on it really, really quick, and then we can close out. But don't get stuck with that scarcity mindset where you think that you're tapped out, or you don't have a network that you are limited to. If you feel like your inner circle is closing in, find a bigger circle. Those Facebook groups, plug into that. Instagram is huge. Everybody wants to know you on Instagram. They don't care who you are. They want to know you. There is somebody that wants to see your story. And just adding a hashtag, I encourage you, before you try to figure out Instagram, just start posting on there. Just start sticking it out there. Add stories, and then plug into the training later. Add a hashtag and add a poll, and just drum up some encouragement and excitement. And then go ask Amanda, because she will help you figure out Instagram.
I'm doing my best. I know it's a little confusing, but yeah, I love helping you guys.
Yes.
and after you wrap up, Jenny, I want to touch on what Mel Robbins talked about, that video on Instagram, how successful people get motivated.
Yes, well, just go ahead because I'm done. I think everybody needs an accountability partner, and then you can talk about motivation and what she said because it was pretty interesting.
Oh, it's so good. Mel Robbins is amazing. She actually spoke at convention last year in Vegas and just tore the house down. She's incredible. So if you guys don't know who she is, check her out. She's a podcast. And you can also find her on Instagram. But this is what she says, how successful people get motivated. At some point, we bought into this lie that at some point you're going to be ready. You're going to feel ready in order to change. We bought into this complete falsehood that at some point you're going to have the courage and the confidence to do the scary things. And that's total BS. We as humans are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things. In order to change, in order to build a business, in order to be the best parent, be the best spouse, and do the things that you want to do with your life, to build your dreams and live out your life's work, you're gonna have to do the scary, uncertain, and difficult things, period. And that just like hit home for me because it's so true.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
This business just constantly pushes you out of your comfort zone. And it's so scary. I mean, even these Zooms make me nervous, y'all. Like getting on this Zoom is a nerve-wracking thing for me. But man, like I have grown so much over the past, like it brings tears to my eyes because I'm just we are changing lives and what we're doing is so important. And I just want you guys to know that that you matter and don't ever feel like you don't have influence over people. People are watching you and you are making a huge difference in this world. And I just want you guys to feel so encouraged by that.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't have said it better. I 100% agree. And I will say, just to kind of wrap it up with, you know, leaving it where Amanda had it, y'all, you are a part of this for a reason, and you are going to grow. Y'all, I'm not even going to lie. When Tara told us that we were going to do this presentation in September, I was like, say what? Like, you're going to make me do what? How many people are going to be there? Wait a minute. Corporate's going to be in the back. Y'all, I was freaking out, okay? But we did it. And honestly, me and Amanda killed it. We did awesome. I was actually really surprised and proud of us. But this business is going to push you past your comfort zones, and you are going to grow into an amazing leader. And with that, a better wife and a better mom. You are going to see it as you reflect upon your journey. So I am so excited to be a part of y'all's and watch all of y'all grow. I hope this was so helpful. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask any of us. I will upload the recording to share with anyone who couldn't make it. And I'm so glad y'all came. Does anybody have any questions before we hop off?
The best is yet to come, y'all. Hang in there.
All right, y'all. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. So I hope you have a fabulous night, and I will see y'all later.
Thanks for joining us. We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.